Hello. Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We are continuing our budget precons, looking at the multi-lands now. $2, by budget I mean $2 or less, and that's on the TCG market value, not a sponsor. Precon upgrades. Alright, so the major issue is always land base. Look at your land base. Anytime you're upgrading a deck, upgrading a precon, doesn't matter. Lands first, okay? I always do want to go and change up creatures and improve a whole bunch of other stuff, and mana rocks and stuff like that. And then I go back and look. I was actually doing this just the other day even. Then I look, I'm like, oh, the lands are terrible. Oh, oops. But yeah, so having a nice assortment of these on hand is definitely a must if you're doing a lot of deck building. Number 5. Okay, Abstergo Entertainment. I feel like I might be saying it wrong. Tap to add a colorless, or pay 1 and tap to add 1 mana of any color. So, you know. There are a lot of lands that do that kind of filtering where you end up paying 2 mana basically to make 1 mana. Remember, you're tapping the land not for mana, but to activate using another mana to. So it says 1, but it's really it costs you 1 to tap it and not create that mana, so it's really 2. But anyway, for 3 tap, exile it, return up to 1 target historic card from your graveyard to your hand, and then exile all graveyards. So good in so many decks. Gets you something back to your hand and gets rid of everyone's graveyards. This is going to shut down so many graveyard strategies and things like that, while giving you maybe not a huge amount of value, but it's giving you something and really hurting. Especially, it's like an off switch for any kind of graveyard recursion deck. You're just turning it off. Right there. Anyway, 67 cents. Number 4. Okay, so the landscape cycle. This is a new one for Modern Horizons. They're basically upgraded panoramas, right? So yeah, you can tap it for a colorless, or you can tap it and sacrifice it to get one of 3 land types. All of them give the 3 land types they show here. Perilous Landscape is Jeskai, so that's blue, red, white. And then you can also pay blue, red, white to discard the card and draw a card. I think 3 mana and discard is maybe not worth it. In very, in some situations, so it might be able to save you, but if you're relying on that, you're in a bad spot, that's for sure. Anyway, I'm not really in these for the cycling. I'm in these for the, basically upgraded panoramas or evolving wilds. So yeah, 7 cents to 86 cents. Once again, this is something where I got all of them and I threw them in my binder right away because I know they're going to go up. Number 3. Warped Landscape. So taps only for a colorless mana, but yeah, you may sacrifice it, search a library for 2 and tap, sacrifice it, search a library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So, this is, maybe you look at this and say, oh, that's a worse version of Evolving Wilds or Terramorphic Expanse, or Escape Tunnel, I guess, but which is not wrong. Where it's an upgrade, though, is that you can play it and just tap it for land. It does not come in tapped, and you can get a colorless mana from it. So you can, if you've got your mana fixing all done, you're just going to use this for colorless mana, which is fine. And if you really need it, you can sacrifice and get your basic land. 12 cents. Number 2. Unclaimed Territory. I think I actually have covered this one before. I'm trying to avoid ones I've covered before, but this is so useful. So as it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. So you can add a colorless or 1 mana of any color for that creature type. If you've got a multicolored Kindred deck, even Even if it's like a dual color Kindred deck, I might just get this. Remember, worst case scenario, you're just going to tap it for a colorless mana instead of a colored mana, which is not that bad. It doesn't come in tapped or anything like that, so really easy to take advantage of this. Anyway, 16 cents. Number 1, Pit of Offering. This is incredible. Okay, so it enters the battlefield tapped. Okay. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 3 cards from graveyards. Any graveyard, 3 cards out. A lot of things like those graveyard recursion strategies and stuff, they're going to have their key pieces and you can just take them out of the game. Or you could target your own graveyard and just get the colors you need. Really a win-win there. It can do the tap for colorless or add 1 mana of any of the exiled cards' colors. Remember, cards can have more than 1 color, right? It's not like you're going to exile 3, you can only do 3 colors. You can very likely exile 3 things and get 4 or 5 colors out of that. So that's pretty huge. 12 cents only. The List. Abstergo Entertainment is 67 cents. The Landscape Cycle is 7 cents to 86 cents right now. Buy it. Warped Landscape is 12 cents. The pay 2 is not great, but just the fact that it's like an Evolving Wilds that if you don't need to search for a land, you can just tap it right away from mana. Definitely an upgrade there. Unclaimed Territory, 16 cents. Unless you've got a monocolored like Kindred deck, put this in it. Pit of Offerings. Even as a counter card, this is so good. I think even dual, try any color deck. Not mono probably, but just being able to mess with people's graveyards for playing a land is huge. Anyway, take it easy.